Welcome to the Ekklesia. We're the church at 434 staff, and we have been looking at episode 3, Jesus and the Little Children, in the series called The Chosen, which if you have not been watching it, if you're watching us, why? We're talking about something hopefully you've seen, and if you haven't, by all means, please go back and watch it. We're kind of breaking down each episode. This will be the wrap-up for us, at least of episode 3. And in this particular episode, we're going to talk about the impact moment or moments that may have been there. And I think, and we've already established this is one that kind of takes us outside the realm of a biblical story that we have anything to anchor to. So that really does mean that we're going to be impacted by, I guess, the storytelling ability of Dallas Jenkins and crew, which again, great storytelling. What do you take away from this?
I'll kind of go back to what I was talking about before, the fact that, he taught the children the Lord's Prayer, which, we know that he taught the disciples. So could he have taught children that? But also just the fact that, we tend to say it around here a lot, that you're never too young to be used by God. And so, the fact that this episode shows him sharing time with children, playing with them, but also taking the time to teach them and teach them some pretty, deep biblical truth that, I'm wondering what episodes are, okay, so he's got a 3-year ministry, so how old would these children be? Are these any that would carry on even past the disciples or come alongside and be helpers to the disciples, or, what would that look like for their world? But again, just the emphasis that, children aren't to be dismissed and they're not too young to get it or too young to participate. But that, he saw value in them, which again, probably outcast in their, they weren't revered, I guess, in the culture of the day. So yeah, I guess that.
Sure. It's good impact.
Well, I think they went out of their way to, kind of flesh out, little children come unto me. He spent time with children in the Word, it's disclosed. One thing I thought of, I don't know why I started singing this song. I haven't sung it in 40 years, but,
Jesus loves the little children.
All the children of the world, red and yellow, black and white, they are precious in His sight. Jesus. I started thinking that because the cast of children seem to be of different ethnic kind of backgrounds. Just seeing them on the screen, it's like you had probably a Texas girl, and and then you had some brown folks, you had some different color folks in there. So that's why just that song just kind of went in my head. I go, okay, it's just kind of like when you go into the credit union and you see any of the pictures in the credit union, it looks like they got it out of some diversity catalog, where they got all these different kinds of folks of different colors and stuff. The same thing they do on all these kind of different brochures where they got everybody's included kind of brochure. So I felt like, they kind of went out of the way that Jesus is it's not just a white thing. He's for everyone. So yeah, I got that out of it. But look, there wasn't that much to draw from, so I had to think through that.
You had to think through that? Okay.
Well, again, it's a very foreshadowing episode of, I think, what is to come with regards to how Jesus will help illustrate belief in children. But if I remember correctly, Mr. Producer, does Jesus make a comment as to praising them for their capacity to believe in this episode? Which is that take you back to that idea, to have faith like a child.
Yeah.
And Jesus valuing children, but also recognizing that we have to position ourselves to a point of humility and dependence in order to fully embrace who Jesus is and what He's done.
I have one other thing when he's sitting around the table and he's kind of quizzing them on, hey, what are they being taught, right? And well, teacher so and so says that we'll know the Messiah. He's going to be a great military leader. And Jesus doesn't, basically say, "No, you're wrong." he basically
Good teachers
says,
don't do that.
everybody, you should listen to your teachers. But where does it say that he's going to be a strong military leader? So he didn't do it in kind of a forceful way. He kind of did a little pull alongside you, like, "Hey, look, you should listen to your teachers."
They're not always right.
But they're not. They may not know everything, so you really gotta
Do your research.
do your research.
That's true. Yeah, he did. My takeaway or my impact is the give and take that they had. I mean, I thought the way that he dialogued with the kids and the way that they had the freedom to ask questions and the way that he answered them and the way that there was almost a playfulness and at the same time, some moments where you could tell it was a little bit more serious what he was saying. I loved when he was telling the story about the she-bears coming out of the woods.
Oh, right.
And he scared of the kids. It was just, what a vivid reminder of that there was so much. How many times have you thought, man, would you love to just sit around and just talk with Jesus about whatever, ask him anything, have that conversation. And I think, although they kind of wandered off, any scriptural pathway that we had, I think the moment of it is, we're able to have those kind of conversations with Jesus. I mean, we're allowed to talk to him about anything we want. And to me, that was the ease at which they showed that and portrayed that. Because these kids weren't nervous about talking to Jesus, and it was very natural, and it was very, well, they were nervous because he was an adult, and maybe that timidness there. But once they started talking with him, it was we're working, we're talking, we're working, we're talking, natural. We're doing the ebb and flow of just life, and Jesus says, "You're going to have to help me do some things today. I've got some work to do." Okay, I'll jump in and do it. When you kind of jump into it, how many times we know that Jesus has some work for us to do as a church, and we don't want to do it. Right? Because we think that somehow that gets in the way of our devotional connection. That's how you connect to him, right? And I think, to me, I was struck by the fact that they're working and they're connecting to him, and that's really what we're supposed to do and how we're supposed to do it as church. So I maybe stretched a little bit for that one, but to me that was kind of where I kind of landed in it. Because I missed the manger, or I probably would have had something there that I could have offered at that point. So.
Yeah.
Well, I would think that he, to your point, it's an as you go kind of thing, right? He worked and he shared and he did things. It wasn't go do some ministry. It basically was, hey, not everybody's going to be doing what I'm going to be doing, but everybody can, in their own lives, be an ambassador for their faith in whatever they do, whatever trade they have, they can do. The other weird thing that I found in this thing, I'm just coming up with weird stuff on this one, but I found it kind of odd that they never brought their parents to meet him.
It was called Jesus and the Children.
I know it's called Jesus and the Children.
Not the families.
But, I still think she should have brought her a parent, like, "Hey, come meet my friend I met in the woods." That would have not gone over very well.
Shorter episode.
That would have been a completely, it would be like spare the rod kind of.
Like Opie finding Mr. McBeady in the woods.
Yeah. Hey, this man lives in the woods. He makes stuff. It's just kind of odd. I can't.
So would you have taken your dad to the woods?
No.
Is your dad watching?
No, I doubt it.
Okay.
I doubt it, but I wouldn't have. Look, man, I wasn't allowed to go in the woods. And, there was probably good reason why. But, but it wasn't even in a neighborhood. It was in the woods. Down by the stream, down by the
in
brook.
Sandlot, they didn't take their parents to meet the guy with all the baseballs.
Now I think we're working too hard. We're really. This is
Yeah.
a long time.
Again, I think this probably undercut some angels just a little bit.
Again, stop on a high
No,
note.
I'm playing with house money on this.
All right. Well, listen, we hope that you've enjoyed our conversation and feel like you were a part of it. The idea is that we want you sitting here at the table with us, and you know, and if you're watching us, you can feel free at any time to join in the conversation and talk, because you're not going to slow us down, and we're just going to keep talking. But you just talk too, because we tend to do that over each other anyway. But we want you to feel like you're a part of it. And thanks for joining us. We'll continue our commentary on these episodes, and we'll join you for the next few here down the road. But
Unless we scared you off.
yeah. Thanks, guys. Good observations. Way to go. Let's keep
Nailing
streaming
the
and we'll
major,
go from
Rich.
there. All right.
If you're right, that'll be awesome.